uncertainties with the sale of the team. It's just a stressful time, but you just gotta pull through, you know.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about the team selling because it's definitely going to sell.
Yeah.
And I'm even thinking, like, man, there might be records that might be broken. I mean, the Broncos are no joke as far as a franchise, as far as I don't want to say logo, but you know what I mean, icon logo. You know what I mean, Elway, like all that shit.
All
man.
thanks
like,
to my dad too.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. You know what I mean, and
Yeah.
kind of tell me a little bit about you real quick, about who you are. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I grew up here in Colorado. I was born in Hawaii, actually. My dad bought the team the year I was born, 1984.
So 84.
Yeah.
Came from Hawaii.
I did.
That's where he was at.
No. Well, my dad was living in Hawaii at the time.
No, yeah, that's where he had lived prior to the purchase of the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay.
And where was your dad from besides, like?
Originally.
Yeah. He's Canadian, right?
Yeah, he's Canadian. He was actually born in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, which is not too far from the Canadian border, but he is officially Canadian.
Canadian, right?
And so is my mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know how they met?
I do, yeah. My dad was, I'm not sure what the business was at the time, but he was up in his office having a meeting, and my mom was, who's 10 years younger than my father, was up downstairs working an internship job. She was painting parking lines in the parking lot of the building that he was working at.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's wild.
And he looks down and he sees her and he's like, I gotta change things, you know.
Right. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Hell yeah.
Hey, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Oof. Well, I got my brother, my 3 sisters, and then my 2 half sisters from my dad's previous marriage. So there's 7 of us total.
Wow.
Crazy. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see how there's 7 different opinions. It's, you know,
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on, yeah.
Oh, man,
But
crazy.
you know, we're starting to agree on things and just come together as a family, which is, you know, what my dad would want.
Do you all get along outside of business, like just?
Yeah,
all,
absolutely.
Like, cool and solid. And
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
It's really just opinions about what's going on. Really.
Exactly, yeah.
That's
everyone
cool.
has
At
their
least
own
it's just
opinion,
that, and
you know?
not like real funk, you know.
No,
That's good.
no,
That's really good.
no, like
I've seen that
serious.
go
Yeah.
wild. Imagine, but that's cool. That's good that you guys are at least all, you know, on good standings and
Yeah.
like each other.
No one wants to kill anyone, right?
Yeah.
No.
That's where I'm like, yeah, where I'm from. You're getting a car and everybody's like ready to kill each other.
It goes down, you know what I mean?
We just, you know, ultimately want to make my dad happy, you know, and want to do that by doing what's best for the team, what's best for us, and you know, that's what's got to happen. The team's got to be sold now, and you know, we've got to move on, and that's fine. You know, we've had a great run with the team, and my dad created an empire.
Yeah, empire. That's not even like a good word. Like, I mean, like the Broncos are up there, like with the Cowboys or like the Raiders or
they were
like the
America's
Yankees.
team at one point.
Yeah,
They are,
like 3 or 4 years ago, America's team.
America's
you know?
team. The Broncos are not just a fucking little. You know, they're not.
And now
I don't
you're
wanna
rinky
say-
dink.
I don't want to say no other teams.
Nah, I know what you mean.
But you know, yeah. I'm not trying to clown on Panthers. Or
The Broncos are
Titans or
iconic.
anybody, you know, but Broncos are iconic.
They're back to back. They
Back-
should have been back to
yeah,
back to back
yeah.
to back.
My dad had a pretty iconic role in bringing the Panthers into the NFL, which is pretty cool.
Really?
too.
Oh yeah, that's wild. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's,
It's a crazy long story, but
Yeah.
At one point, he was wearing Panthers gear around
Really?
the house.
Really?
You know, like, what is this guy
Wild.
doing? Why is he wearing Panthers gear around the house?
That's wild.
Was it because he was like a good price? I mean, I'm probably sure back then you could probably get that franchise for
Or
a
just
hella
in
good
on
price,
it,
or even
on the deal
yeah.
or something.
Oh, it's and
It's not like nowadays,
Nowadays, it's worth a lot more money than it was. You know.
right? Do you know what your dad paid for the Broncos?
I don't know. I don't.
If you had to guess, I would say like maybe like 50 million, 60 million. I don't think it was like much. I mean, when you're talking about a franchise like that,
And
that's
this was
not-
1984.
Right.
You know.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. That sounds about right, no?
I don't even think that much.
Yeah, maybe 20. You don't think?
I
I would
don't
say at
know,
least on the
man.
low. We're gonna have to Google this shit. One.
Back then, $1 million was
When
a
you
lot.
get a chance, we need you to Google to see how much.
I got this.
You
Go
got
ahead,
it
let's see.
right
I'm gonna
here.
fact check this shit.
But
Go ahead,
Yeah,
yeah.
your dad was wearing Panther gear, so.
Yeah, around the house. He was wearing Panther gear. I don't know why, but I mean, obviously, it had to do with the role he played in having them become a team in the NFL.
Shit.
You know.
$78 million.
Okay, so that's but that's
You're
still
right.
a
No,
good
you're right.
good chunk.
That's
I mean,
a
that's
good-
good. That's not bad.
But
Shit,
yeah,
that's a day.
now it's
But now
Couple
they're
billion.
Billy's.
worth anywhere between $4 and $6 billion.
Yeah, billions.
You know?
He said
Billions.
406 billion.
No, 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Oh, 4 to 6.
Yeah,
I
hold
thought you
on,
said
hold
4
on.
I
to 6.
wish
was
that
like-
much.
He's like, we really be partying for
Everybody
sure.
getting a billion.
Yeah, there you go, right? Damn. Hey, so you've grown up in like Denver, like Colorado, your pretty much whole life, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Like, I mean, you're pretty much a Colorado native. I know you were born in Hawaii, but I mean, you grew up here since you were a little baby, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, ever since my dad bought the team, we moved here. I was born the same year my dad bought the team, 1984, like we were discussing, and yeah, I've been out here in Colorado my whole life.
What's your earliest like memories of the Broncos?
Probably my dad's old office off of like around 58th and Washington.
I remember that place.
Yeah, and
I
then
remember
the
that. Right by the
That's right
hood.
by the hood. That's
Yeah.
where we're from.
yeah,
I used to.
That's where we're from.
and then across from Mile High, which is now the parking lot for the new stadium in Power Field, they had these metal like warehouses, which are still there. I don't know what the company is now, but that's where the Broncos did all their indoor practicing.
Oh,
I
shit.
never knew that.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Really?
No, I remember them on right there, like on
Wow.
58th.
Yeah, that's where all the offices were.
Nice.
That's crazy.
How, explain, because like I know about this stuff, but explain like kind of stuff back then. Like you said, you could see the players, you could meet the players, to like stuff like nowadays where like you can't get next to kind of anyone. Especially with shit going down the way it's been going.
Yeah,
People getting attacked, people getting smacked, people getting. It seems like everything nowadays.
It's
right?
crazy, yeah. I honestly, since all of this has started and since COVID started, I really haven't, been interested in going around the office just because I don't want to be bothered,
Right.
I still go and watch practice, or I did last year and the year before, but I've just been kind of trying to avoid the place.
Right. We
you
kind of
know.
talked about earlier, like not that you're, out yet. You always have love for the Broncos, but it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like if you're in a different stage right now than when you were growing up being a ball boy and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I still love the NFL, and I'll still love the Broncos, but I don't think I'll be as emotionally invested as I was
Right.
before,
Exactly.
It's not going to ruin my day and my life if they lose a game
Right.
or don't go to the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously, yeah, that would have been nice if
If they
we
did.
could have just won one more. We haven't
Except
really.
for your mom, right?
Yeah, for my mom, who's experiencing the same condition my dad did, which was Alzheimer's. It's a terrible fucking disease. I wouldn't wish it on the worst fucking person in the world, but
No, for real.
unfortunately, she has it now too. No no signs of it in her side of the family. So it's just strange, seeing her catch the same thing. But it would have been nice, to win just one more for her, before we got rid of the team. But
Hey, you know what?
unfortunately, we weren't able to do that.
You never can say never.
Right.
Because you guys just added Russell Wilson to the equation.
That's right.
So, I mean, you honestly never know. I mean, I'm sure it's going to get sold. I mean, I don't think, I mean, it might be next week, but I mean,
It'll be sold before the season starts.
Oh, you think so for sure?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
He said absolutely.
Yeah, of course. It's the fucking Broncos.
Are we just waiting for the dot the I's and cross the T's pretty much?
Pretty much. I think there's maybe like 4 or 5 investors left in the bidding war for it, but we can only hope for the most out of these guys.
Let's get a bidding war going. You know what I mean?
I know Bill Walton's and highly invested in the situation. The guy that owns Walmart, and that guy really looked up to my dad too. So, if anyone, I'd like to see him on the team. It's just kind of strange because he's such an old dude, And it's just like, how long is he going to be able to withstand owning this team before he has to sell the team?
Or even just understanding, because like shit is different. Like, and I know they get everything that's going on, but you know what I mean. Just shit's a little different. Like,
yeah,
you're not a player. You're not young. You're not. I don't know.
It's gonna be different now.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. What were some kind of like your I don't know, maybe like favorite memories, like kind of growing up with the Broncos?
Oh, so many. Where do I start?
I mean, because you were there from day one.
Yeah.
From the beginning. I mean, that's a wild trip to think of that right there. Just to think of like the Broncos starting like in '89, so give you what? You said 84, 94. You're 10 years old,
Yeah.
From 94 till fucking now. You've been on a fucking crazy roller coaster where like a lot of people like really don't get to see. I mean, you're definitely in a class of your own when it comes to shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my very first, like, really memorable experience was, and I told you guys about this earlier before we started, but going into the locker room with gear from the Broncos.
Yeah.
So you go to the store, did you guys have like a room in the like
I go to the team
headquarters?
store, and I get whatever I want.
Like, literally.
For free,
So how many jerseys are you grabbing? You grab like 10 jerseys?
No,
you grab one or two?
I'd like maybe 1 or 2,
Keep it conspicuous.
A jersey, maybe like a deck of sports cards. But I would take this stuff into the locker room before and after games, and I'd have John Elway sign this shit. And I would go out into the parking lot, and I'd try and sell all this stuff to fans in the parking lot.
And how did you how did they believe you, or how did you kind of let them know? Did you just tell them I'm fucking
I just,
PBJ or
I'm Patrick Bullen Jr. and this is what I have.
They look at you real quick.
Yes, let's buy this shit.
Right. What would you get on the Elway jersey back then? I'm just curious. Were you letting them go super cheap, or were you fucking getting 200, 300? Because I mean, still, it's a jersey,
I mean, I don't want to bullshit you guys. I can't even remember, honestly. I was so young,
he had a fat stack of cash in his.
I was probably charging maybe like $40. Who knows? I don't know.
You probably were.
I definitely wasn't asking for more than
if you ever got
100.
You're fucking lucky.
Right.
You came up. It really is legit.
They're gonna find that shit in Storage Wars or some
Yo,
shit.
if you really have, if you bought a jersey from a kid in the parking lot that said he was Patrick Bullen
back in 94, 95,
that was legit. You really have a real.
It's real deal. 100% authentic.
And that's one of the things we were talking about is like Elway. Like me, I've always thought Elway's been cool. Like I've never had a bad experience. I get it. When they're older, they may get a certain way. You're trying to bug him while he's eating and shit like that. But back in the day, like I said, when he was a young quarterback and he was the man, he would like he wouldn't go out of the locker room at Mile High Stadium with everyone else. He would go out where you go in.
Yeah.
But he would have him pull his bins back by the door, And then he would let like whatever fans wanted to go back there and get his autograph. And after every game, he would sign for everyone. And
For everyone.
I remember giving people, towels and stuff, just cool stuff. You know what I mean? And he's the coolest man. I've never seen him be like a jackass or anything. You know what I mean?
All-American man. I've seen him at his daughter's basketball game. We were the most obnoxious kids there. It was North High School versus Cherry Creek High School. Right? I swear, true story. And every time his daughter made a fucking basket, everybody would yell, "Touchdown!" I swear, on some like asshole shit.
Man.
They're, destroying our team.
Right.
The girls got whooped by fucking Elway's daughter. What's her name? Anyways, they got destroyed by their team, and we're all like whatever. And at the end, we all went and got autographs from him, and he still happily, with a smile, signed everybody's autograph.
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck.
He didn't give a shit. It was so funny though. It was pretty funny though. The fucking game was wild at Cherry Creek. I was like, oh shit.
That's dope. I remember he came to our high school once to talk. You know how you get your Bronco every once in a while, and they're like, "Oh, it's coming." And everyone's like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, it's coming."
Sure.
And Malcolm showed up and did his little talk to us and signed a couple autographs. It's cool.
Great.
Back in the day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, do you have any crazy pieces of like memorabilia that you've gotten from like the Broncos throughout like the years?
Yeah, lots of stuff.
I'm sure, like I was talking about it. I'm sure you got a probably garage or storage
You have an
unit.
epic
Uh,
one.
I got a Steve Atwater jersey. He's my favorite player.
Smiling Assassin.
Yes. You were talking about him earlier.
Yeah, he's
Christian
dope.
Okoye.
Yeah, Koye Killer.
Yeah, the Koya Killer, man.
He
Y'all
killed
know
that
about
guy.
Steve Atwater, man.
The Orange Crush.
The Orange Crush, bro.
He's from Arkansas,
That's a bad
man.
dude right there.
I got some cards, some John Elway rookie cards.
Yeah.
I think I got a signed football. The most special thing I have is a drawing by the bartender that worked in my parents' suite. He's a phenomenal artist named J.P. Snagglegrove. You can try and look him up. He doesn't have an Instagram page yet. We're working on that. But anyways, he drew a picture of all of the Ring of Fame players and coaches